Hey everybody, I'm Chris. I teach Spanish, English, guitar, philosophy, and social justice at Timanawis in Surrey. And today's question is, why should I become a language teacher? The answer to that is, I don't know. You have to make your own decision. But I have one thing to talk about today, and that's how can I keep on being a language teacher? And by keep on, I don't just mean keep your job and do your job, but actually enjoy your job. Right? You're going to be doing this for whatever, 15, 20, 30 years. It's got to be fun. If it's not fun for you or the kids, something is missing. Okay? So you have two options. Very broadly, you have two options as you go into a language classroom. You can do what's called skill building. Right? Skill building is basically we learn some vocabulary, we learn some grammar rules, and then we try to turn these into language by practicing using them, right? So here's an example. Here's a really brilliant book. This book is called Textbook Samos. Okay, now this is a skill building text, and in this textbook you will find things like, for example, a lesson on the use of direct object pronouns in Spanish, like him and her and it, right? And then here's a really interesting activity, right? Say if you have these things while you're on vacation. Do you have video games? Yes, I have them. Okay. Do you have a book? No, I do not have a book. Do you have a CD player? Yes, I have one. Right? That kind of thing. Okay. So, do you want to make your students do this? Or here's a better way to think about it. Would you do this in English? Would you spend 5 or 6 hours, talking about whatever, things you bring on vacation using 30 different words and one verb tense? How interesting would that be? Exactly. There is, however, an alternative. So, what's the alternative? We want to teach people this a language, Spanish or Chinese or whatever, but we might not want to make them memorize lists of rules and practice saying things and so on. So what's the other way? Well, the other way is we make up stories. We read, we listen to, and we make up stories with our students, right? There's lots of methods that do this. There's TPRS, there's narrative paraphrase, there's story listening, right? So, here, for example, this is my dear friend. This is mi amiga, Policarpia. Hola. Hola. Policarpia is, as you can see, she's obviously very beautiful. Ella es muy guapa. She is very beautiful, and she's happy. But there's a problem, right? Policarpia no tiene cerebro. She doesn't have a brain. Yes, this is a brain. Policarpia, ¿tienes cerebro? No, no tengo cerebro. Pobrecita. Right? And using only, a couple of props like this skeleton, beautiful woman that I paid $30 for on Amazon, and this goat brain that came from the science department, and some of my students, we can make up a story entirely in Spanish. We can then read a version of it. We can watch some ads or some short films that, include the words like wants and needs and brain and maybe skeleton, and we can talk about those things in the target language, and that's how people will acquire them. So here's your choice as a Spanish teacher or a teacher of any language. Do you want to spend your time using textbook Samos, which means let's all textbook in Spanish, or would you rather have you and your students going on a quest for a brain for your beautiful skeleton? Which is going to be more interesting? Think about that.